Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Retail Talks. Hello, Mitul. Nice to see you.
Hi, Darko. Good to see you again. Hello, everyone in the audience.
Today we have very special episode, like everyone actually. But this one will be very, very special because early on the beginning we have to, let's say, to give our major answers to the question X or Shopify. The favorite. No, I'm just kidding because the last time we
You did this
discussed.
to me again. Yeah?
No, not like that. So we will do it really properly. We will talk about integration and we will discuss, does it make sense? We will discuss about the details and so on. But before we go into the detail, let me give you a short introduction, guys, about Retail Talks. So what we are doing actually here, we want to talk retail. We are really passionate about retail. Mitul is passionate about it. I am passionate about it. And we thought, let's discuss and let's talk about breaking news, which are just published recently, a couple of days ago maybe, and let's share with you our thoughts about that. And that's what we want to do today. We want in this episode we want to focus, of course, on Shopify and X, and of course integration of the both worlds. But before we start that, let me ask Mitul, did you buy something during Black Friday or Cyber Monday?
I did actually. Yeah, I was surprised because I always think that there aren't actually really great deals on Black Friday. It just feels like they're increasing the prices a week before and then reducing them. But this time we actually bought a couple of things on Black Friday. I won't say what, but yeah, there was a good couple of shopping sort of hours spent online and in the store actually. And that was actually a very interesting experience. I think after many years, I was in a physical store on Black Friday, and I had forgotten how insane it gets.
Yes.
There was I mean, I don't know how old she was, but gray-haired, must be in her 60s woman who literally pushed her way past me to make her way to the product she wanted. So that was yeah, that's my little Black Friday experience from this year. What about you?
I didn't shop anything, but my family did. So they bought lots of different things. I will not tell you also what, because the list is like last time we talked about umbrellas and these kind of things that people usually don't need. So the same situation happened nowadays. So they bought lots of things, and I'm sure they don't need the half of them. But as you just described the picture about that kind of moments in the stores, I remember from a couple of years ago, as the people were fighting really to get the great deals. And but today the situation is not totally different. So actually we have a more or less similar situation. So maybe just a couple of them are online doing the same thing, but offline we have them as well. Let me give you some numbers, because I think the probability that people used Shopify during the weekend was very, very high, because the Shopify is one of the leaders, I would like to say, in that market segment, in e-commerce, and especially in that kind of retailing. And I think lots of transactions were done by them. And I was really even surprised and to be honest, impressed about the numbers which they published. They developed first a kind of globe or something like that, where you could see the world and the transactions which were popping up as soon as somebody was buying something over Shopify platform, and you could see lots of them. In total, they had, let's say, the revenue or the sales from around 11.5 billion US dollar. Can you imagine that? All that on one platform, on one e-commerce solution. I was really impressed by that. And the number of the customers is even more impressive, because there were more than 76 millions of customers doing all those transactions. So it's a very, very powerful environment from my point of view. Did you know that all those numbers? Did you hear them?
I saw a video of this globe, right? And actually, that globe it's not something they created. It's the Sphere in Las Vegas. So it's this new
It was even there. I thought it's a separate. Wow, it's
it's
even
a
better.
sponsored arena, and they actually did a takeover. And It's the first
Wow.
time that live data was being streamed onto this. I mean, it's the world's biggest,
Yes.
basically. And there
I
was
didn't know that. I thought it's a developed software somewhere in the metaverse or something like
no,
that.
no, no. And that's what makes it technically even more fascinating for me
Wow.
is these billions of transactions were happening,
Yes.
and in real time they were animating and putting that onto the world's biggest screen. So that in itself is an impressive feat. But a billion plus, 11 billion, you said 11 billion transactions.
11.5 billion. Yeah.
You see 11.5 billion transactions, 76 million
Unbelievable.
customers. So that's like more than $150 per person being spent, which is
Yeah.
very impressive. But what I really love about this even more, while it is one platform, technically speaking, those revenues are going to, again, millions of businesses, right? So it isn't just one Temu or one Amazon sitting and generating all that revenue. It's a lot of small, medium, large businesses,
Exactly.
and that's exciting. That's what
Yes.
I think makes the
Definitely.
Shopify story for me personally so cool.
Yes. Let's stay today in this world because I think we started already with some great emotions related to that world because I am emotional if we talk about that because it's impressive, of course. So let's talk today a little bit more about the Shopify world, especially related to the integration which they did with X a couple of days ago. I think it was on the 2nd of December. X announced integration and partnership with Shopify. And it was very interesting because on one side, somebody could think it's just a simple integration. It's just another app which you could develop and let's say use on the Shopify. But if you combine that with the strategy of X to create something like a super app, everything app, then it could be even more. Then it could be even the first step, or not maybe first, but one of the steps towards getting the super app here in the western part of the world. So today we want to discuss that. And before we go into the details, let me give you some more details, let's say, about the environment, about the X and the Shopify, so that we know a little bit what we are talking about. So Elon started with the Twitter a couple of years ago. I think it was end of 2022, October or something like that. Then he renamed it to X. And he stated even there on the beginning of his X story that he wants to create something like a super app, something like
Mm.
everything app, doing all the great things around us, like WeChat is doing in China, for example. Then he did several different things. He opened the source of the app, which is, by the way, from my point of view, really great move because it was creating the transparency which you need in order to understand how these kind of apps are working. This was perfectly. Then he developed lots of different features, which are, from my point of view, very interesting for that kind of platforms. And he focused especially on the content creation, which makes lots of sense from my point of view, because the content creators are like an engine of these kind of platforms, attracting the new users, and that's what you need in order to generate sales, of course. Then he developed a strategy how to reward all those content creators if they are active on the platform. He changed the API, and you need, of course, a great API in order to develop different applications on the platform itself. He added a very powerful AI. It's called Grok. I am using it daily, and it's really, really interesting. He started developing payment functions, which is basically very important if you want to have a kind of super app. And he tried or already got even a couple of licenses to run the payment service, especially in the US, but I'm sure he will not stop. And then suddenly, on the 2nd of December, X announced great integration, new app called X Shopify app, which is actually providing the integration service between online store and X, enabling almost everyone in US who is in Canada who is running the Shopify to, let's say, use the platform and to use all those and to access all those customers and users of the platform. So this is more or less the situation what we have today. Mitul, what do you think? Is that something which will change the world, how we shop? Is this the beginning of the super app? For me, it looks a little bit like that. Am I right?
So two perspectives, right? One is from X's perspective. Probably this is the beginning of a super app, right? In the sense of Um, they could have tried what WeChat did and launched their own platform, get sellers on there, etc., etc. But that's a lot of work. So here, with one sort of integration, one partnership, they suddenly have, not just in the US and Canada, but globally, millions of sellers directly able to sell on that platform, right? So that's a really smart move in the sense of, if you're trying to build a marketplace, you often have that chicken and egg problem where it's like, do I get the supply? Do I get the demand? They got all the supply on there. The part I'm not yet convinced about on is the demand side, right? Um, a lot of those retailers that are on Shopify, customers already have access to them. They're already promoting their goods via social media, via different channels. Is the audience that's on X today, which has also, by the way, since Elon took over, reduced quite a bit.
Hmm.
Are they the audience that fits directly with the audience that those sellers are trying to reach? I don't know. I think there's probably some overlap. I read a lot of threads from people who share, the 10 best gadgets to improve the quality of air in your apartment. And maybe I'll click on something and buy something on Shopify with that. Um, but I think there's still a huge gap between something like WeChat, which originally is a chat app between people, then adding shopping, then adding so on and so forth. And something like X, which the way I still perceive it today acts more as a broadcasting channel than a chat application where, I might send something to my wife and say, hey, would you like to buy this or look at this cool thing for the living room? I can see that working a lot better in WhatsApp actually than I would see it in X. And they also, to slightly deviate from our core topic today, are doing this in India, South America already with the shops.
Hmm.
Um, but coming back to X itself, I think from X's perspective, this makes a lot of sense. I think Shopify has nothing to lose. They get access to a much bigger audience. Do I think that this will become that super app that most people use? I think the jury is still out on that.
But
But
let's
you're a more active X user, so I want to hear your perspective.
yes, but even if I'm not really focusing on the platform itself, like X or Instagram or whatever, I think the major point to sell whatever is the location itself. And every retailer, if you ask the retailer what is the most important in your business case, in your business model, they will tell you location. So, what is the location in this case? We have a certain platform, name it however you want. This platform has 611 million monthly users. Imagine physical store where you could access 600 million users every
Mm,
month. Wow. So actually, it doesn't matter if it's X, Instagram, or whatever, TikTok or Temu or whatever. The point is, are there people which could see your offerings or not? That's why I think that the integration with Shopify is really very smart because they did it in two ways. They are enabling Shopify users to promote the products, so to
mhm.
access actually the advertising on the platform, and to show the products. So there are no that kind of shopping features like in usual stores. So X is not becoming the store, even not the storefront. It's a just, let's say, channel to communicate the products and to advertise them, to promote them. And
So
this
it
is
sounds
really
like they've
smart
just
as a first
made
step. Sorry.
Twitter advertising easier for Shopify merchants, it seems like, right?
Yes, exactly. This is the integration. So actually is the integration to be able to run the advertisement very easily with couple
Mhm,
of clicks, even to use AI to define them and this kind of stuff.
mhm,
And then to even to showcase, to show the products in the stream, Twitter
mhm.
stream or X stream actually. And this is really the beginning of the sales process itself, to show the products that you have. And you are showing the products to 600 millions of people monthly. So the X is, I think, the 12th. If you do the ranking of the social platforms, around, I think 12 or something like this, according to the number of the monthly users or something like that. But if we check the numbers, they are impressive. 600 millions, it's a really huge number. So this is quite interesting, and I think it could be very successful for every Shopify user to generate additional channel and to use additional channel to reach the customers. So that's why I think it's very, very smart. But if we package all that a little bit different, let's talk about super app. What do you
Mhm.
need in order to have a super app? But just forget for a second the mentality. It's very important, of course. But let's talk about technology. What do you need? From my point of view, you need first something like a framework, something that is enabling other companies and people to develop own apps, like a framework. So the first one. The second thing, you need API to access the functionalities of the platform itself. The third point is actually you need an ecosystem. This means you need the content creators which are attract or will
Mhm.
attract the users. Okay. Then you need a payment structure. You need social commerce. You see already, I'm already telling you everything what X has. And you need a marketing. You need attention. After checking what Elon done in US a couple of months ago during the elections, what X got is actually the attention. So through the uh, free speech strategy, through the activities in the environment of politics in US and so on, Elon created marketing story around the X. And all other points which we just discussed, just the first one maybe to develop the own apps, everything else is in place. And now with Shopify, he connected two market leaders actually even better. So the Shopify, which is offering a lots of functionalities and features around the social commerce as well, and the platform itself. Smart move,
I
right?
I wonder how much this also has to do with the whole content creator influencer space, right? So, if you're an Instagram influencer, other than sponsored content, etc., it's now quite easy to monetize your audience by setting up a little shop and then linking to it from your
Mhm.
Instagram feed, showing products on there, etc. And it's the same on YouTube, etc. Right? So people are selling their merchandise, those kind of things. Twitter doesn't have something like that at the moment, where if you're a
Right,
Twitter influencer, which
right.
I'm in the presence of right now, there's not a
I'm
way
not
to
influencer, not at all. No, just a small, maybe a small one.
there's not an easy way to monetize those audience for a lot of these influencers. So I think that's also a good step in that direction. And I wonder if more platforms would do that, right? You mentioned it's number 12. I can imagine LinkedIn is somewhere in the top 10 at the moment. And, again, in LinkedIn as well, we know that there's thousands of people who've become influencers now, but they are usually trying to monetize by either selling their main product or selling some content piece. But there's not an easy way to do it within the LinkedIn ecosystem right now. So I'm just wondering, just taking a step into the future, after X, who's next? Which other social network is going to do it? And I think LinkedIn is a great candidate for
For
that.
sure. All of them will follow because there is money. And all of them are running, to catch more money. And so that's why I'm sure all of them will follow. Maybe they will not follow the same strategies and not maybe they will find a different ways for sure to reach the monetization and the new turnovers, but they will do that. Um, but let's come back to our original question. Is this integration something special or is it just, another app integration? We have millions of them on many different platforms. Something special or not? Black or white? Come on, Mitul. Tell me, black or white?
I say not. I say not. I
Not
think it
special?
makes I think it makes it probably easier for, now that I've understood the use case better, I'm sure it makes it easier for people on Shopify who believe they have an audience on X to do advertising easier. But do I believe it's going to be a revenue game changer for X or Shopify? I'm skeptical.
I have to agree with you. But you know why? You know why? I will tell you why.
Yeah.
If you just heard about my explanations about the framework that they have and all these kind of things, couple of hours ago, I was convinced that this is the first step to get really running up and running super app because it's bringing social commerce into Twitter or X. But then today, early in the morning, I noted something which really disappointed me. I was
Mhm.
even a little bit angry. Let me tell you why. So this is the most important part of this story today. So I will read first the news which we got on the 2nd of December, part of that, which is actually the reason why we are doing all that. So the title was Introducing X Shopify app Captured the Holiday Shopping Surge. Okay, so I thought introducing, so something new, they will introduce something new. Okay, I was checking the further parts of the text. So the first sentence was, as part of our vision for the Everything app, X is committed to fueling commerce, and so on and so on and so on. Perfectly. So I thought, great, they want to do exactly that. They want to develop Everything app, and this is the major step in that direction. Then if you are reading further, then you see the next sentence. Today, means on the 2nd of December, we are thrilled to announce a partnership with Shopify. So at that moment, I was, wow, so the partnership between X and Shopify, this is the great way, moving towards Everything app, perfect. And then I started studying that app directly in the Shopify app store. And then I saw something which was really disappointing for me. I saw that this app was created on the 4th of May, 2022. It's nothing new. It's a new, not a
News.
new partnership. It was started on the 4th of May, 2022. And then I compared that date with the date as Elon bought the platform X. And it was later. It was in October 2022. So this means the idea for the integration of Shopify and X happened before Elon actually. So he just didn't stop it. He just maybe continued the investment, maybe even force it or whatever, and he recognized the strategy. But this was not his idea. So it was before the idea of Everything app. And this was something like a small disappointment for me. And even if you think, okay, but the development took long years, this was my next thought. Maybe they started and now they released the new version. So it's totally new. Then I checked the reviews because I want to see what is the date of the first review. Okay. And it was just 1 year later. So it was in May 2023. So this means the first release was not on the 2nd of December or a couple of days before, but 1 year ago. And I was really sad about that because I thought it's a great move in the new strategy. No, it's an old story. So I have to agree with you. It's just another integration from my point of view as well.
Funny thing, yeah, I was privy to this news earlier, and I was looking about it as well. And they actually even had an announcement about this in Jan this year. So I feel like it's one of those things, like, oh, there's nothing new to talk about. Let's re-announce that partnership. Maybe
Yeah,
something new will happen. But I still think it was an interesting topic for us to cover today, and
absolutely. And, and,
figure
and
out where the future of that might go.
absolutely interesting to talk about that. And to be honest, I even don't like this kind of market manipulation. It's like a market manipulation because if you are writing into a new press release that today we are thrilled to announce a partnership with Shopify, and it's not today, and you that's not okay. It's like trying to manipulate the market. I don't think that X or Shopify need that. Why? They are anyway very good leading software platforms. So why that? So no need for that from my point of view, at least.
Someone in marketing had to announce something new, probably.
Maybe they will hear this and they will change it. So, okay, so
Okay.
let's close the session slowly because we wanted always to keep it short and sharp. Do you have a couple of last words, let's say, before we are closing everything?
Last words. X news, not so hot, but what was hot for me was what we discussed also about Shopify and what happened with them on Black Friday. And I'm curious to also see what that does for their stock next year when they announce the Q4 results.
Yes.
I mean, this company, right? I'm so impressed with what they keep doing, both on the product level and the sort of communication of it and all the enablement they're doing around it. Gentle plug, but with Refi we also have a Shopify integration
Oh, I didn't know
in the
that. This is
US.
great. I didn't know
in
that.
the POS, right? And I've
Yeah.
been seeing them improve that product massively, right? When they started Shopify POS, it felt like they're just testing the waters. But when I look at it
Mhm.
now, I mean, there's huge businesses using it in store. And if you ask me about the future of commerce, Shopify is one name that I'm very bullish about.
I saw even that they are focusing in the moment a little bit more on the enterprises, which, by the way, I really love because I think it makes a lots of sense. They have a great solution, and I think the huge enterprises could benefit from that definitely. But I didn't know that you have integration with them, so very good. I like that.
And it's
Good,
not been announced only today.
very good. Yeah, Lucy,
Okay.
great event today. I didn't say to our audience, if you want to join us, you can do that now, almost not anymore because we are closing the session. But we will be there next Thursday as well. And I'm sure we will find again a short and sharp topic that we can discuss, maybe even some great news that you didn't know. And you should know that we are streaming on the X space as well. So this means if you want to jump into the stream, so that everybody can hear you on all other platforms, you can do that as well. And we are streaming on X, LinkedIn, of course, YouTube, and X Space. So massively streaming all around the world. Next step is the globe, the sphere in the Las Vegas, and our two faces over there. Maybe me
I
too.
probably need to do something about my hair and beard before that.
Oh,
Then.
I don't. I'm already like a sphere, so it's already. I'm ready for the sphere. Thank you very much, Mitul. Talk to
It
you
was fun
next
as always,
Thursday
Arthur.
again.
Thank you.
Guys, enjoy your evening. See you next week again. Bye.